Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's great to be back. I've missed talking to you about my stamp collection. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to choose your topic for your collection, the topic for your collection. Um, it's a very wide subject, and I can tell you that from my experience, it took me a long time till I concised and consolidated the topic of my collection. So, where to start off? I can tell you that initially the best thing to do is to start off and collect anything you can get your hands off on, and preferably from your country, because later on it will become very important for your swap and exchange partners to have stamps that are appealing, and the most easy access you'll have is stamps from your own country. So I would suggest that you start off wide, collect anything you can get your hand off until you reach a certain point when your collection has become of a nice size, and then it's time to start focusing and deciding what your topic, unless you already know, of course, so ignore what I said, but I would suggest that, at this point you decide what you want to collect. So the first thing I would consider is what you're passionate about, what you love, because stamp collecting is something that takes a lot of time, a lot of your attention, and you will need to do a lot of research about what your subject is. So I would consider something that you love and take interest in. Also something that you would consider will be interesting to you in the long run. So that's first 2 points that I think you should consider. Secondly, I think you should consider what time period this collection should start at in relation to years. Put a scale to it, from until. Give it a beginning and give it an end, because otherwise it's a never-ending thing. Unless you're collecting from a certain country and then it's whatever comes out, you collect it. Next, I think very important to decide, but not necessarily right off, but quite early on in the collection time, is the stamp condition. Whether you're collecting used stamps, i.e. mint never hinged, or mint hinged stamps. I will explain about that later on as we go on in the episodes. Or used or cancel to order stamps, i.e. CTO stamps. Again, something that I will explain further on in our channels if you do not know what that means. And of course, your topic. It could be anything. There are stamps about anything. So it could be cartoons, it could be Disney, it could be fauna, it could be butterflies, hot air balloons, anything and everything. You can have a collection about so many topics. Um, Two things to consider, of course. If your collection topic is very small, it will be relatively hard to find stamps of that nature, and difficult to complete your collection. And a very large one has the opposite effects. What do I collect? I collect stamps. Well, that's an interesting one. I studied Chinese for my major at university, and I became very interested in communism due to that. And therefore, I decided that my stamp collection is going to focus on communist stamps. So what I did is I researched all the countries that used to have a communist regime, and then I narrowed it down to all the specific periods in which certain countries had communist governments, and that is the focus of my collection. If I get other stamps, I will collect them, but I collect specifically stamps from communist countries at the time that the country was inside a communist regime. And I focus on mint stamps, although I will also take used stamps, but my main subject would be mint stamps from this collection. So what I did, I went into Wikipedia and other sources of information, and I took a list of all communist countries and their periods, and my album actually has, for each country, something like this. So let's say the USSR, the time period in which the country used to be communist, and I collect stamps specifically from that time, that region, and of mint condition. What I next do is I prepare little tabs of the years, and then my stamp album would look like this for each and every year. I will put the stamps chronologically, and then by country. So that's it regarding the topic of how to choose a stamp collection. In my next episode, so you will see some information about how to organize your collection, how to choose a swap partner, and finally you will see some about best practices of exchanging stamps. It's great to see you. Don't forget to follow my YouTube channel. Goodbye.